Hey everyone! Today I'm going to show you how you can make your English better. Actually, some people tell me that they really can't make an impression when they speak. I think the problem is that you need to know some more powerful words to express yourself better. And that is why in today's lesson, I want to show you 7 powerful English verbs. So verbs are action words, words which show action. But of course, we use very common verbs. Now today, you're going to learn some better verbs and more powerful verbs. What are they? The first one would be blab. Okay, what does blab really mean? Let's take a look at this picture. This guy over here seems to be talking, right? He keeps talking and talking and talking. And the other guys are kind of like, okay, what's happening here? When is he going to shut up, right? They've got that expression. So basically, when a person blabs, it means that they are talking carelessly without thinking, which means they go on and on and on and on. So in a sentence, you could say, don't take Rohit seriously. He keeps blabbing all the time. Okay, so some people talk a lot. They are not meant to be taken seriously. Or it could also mean to reveal a secret. Now, let me tell you that some verbs are really multi-purpose verbs, which means they've got 2 different meanings. So some people, they like to give away secrets, not very good people. So you could say, Neha blabbed all the details about the project. Not very good of Neha. So now what have we done here? You would normally, in your basic English way, you would have used the word talk, which is not wrong, but talk does not really convey the actual meaning of talking carelessly. So this verb is a more powerful verb which talks about the action of giving away secrets or talking too much and annoying people as a result. Okay, so instead of using talk, in these contexts, use blab. I have another very nice verb for you, which is screech. Now, I actually held my fingers to my ears like that because when you hear a screech, it kind of sounds like someone's put the brakes on a car all of a sudden. That's not a very good sound, right? So what kind of sound is that? It's a very high-pitched sound. Like think about someone screaming, or like I said, someone who's just slammed the brakes on a car all of a sudden. And how can you use that in a sentence? You could say, he screeched when I touched his phone to see the time. Now the guy was probably trying to hide something, so he said, hey, stop using my phone. He screeched. His voice sounded something like this. Not a very nice voice. Not a very nice sound, actually. Or you could say, I heard a screech and ran up to the window to see what happened. Sometimes you hear this high-pitched sound and you're curious. That's what I did. I have another really interesting verb for you, which is yank. Now, this lady out here, as you can see, she is forcibly trying to pull something. Okay, like she's obviously putting in all her strength, which goes to show that the word yank means that you are pulling something with a sudden and a strong motion. So she's using all her strength. So you have to be strong enough to like pull. She's pulling something and it's sudden. Okay, so in a sentence you could say, call the carpenter. I have to yank the door every time, right? So something's wrong with your door. You're supposed to be able to, open it without any problems, without any effort, but you are yanking the door. So your carpenter needs to be called to fix it, okay? You don't have to yank a door. Why would you do that? Or you could say, don't yank the hard drive. You might damage the data and the cable. Now, the hard drive is a very sensitive thing. You can't just like pull it with a strong motion. You're going to damage a lot of things, including the data and the cable. So don't yank it. We have another verb, which is to slam. Okay, let me show you a picture and I want you to guess what it means. Okay, what's happening here? This guy is kind of trying to close the door, but he's doing it with anger. Okay, so slamming something is a violent action. Violent means you're doing it with anger, okay? It's not a gentle motion, it's violent. And it's done with very strong emotion. So when can we slam things? Let's see. He abused the salesman and slammed the door on his face. Sometimes we get angry at people, including salesmen who come to sell their stuff. What do some people do? They slam the door. They take this is the door, they just slam the door on someone's face. Not a good thing to do, but it happens. Or you can say the angry teacher slammed the books on the table and asked the class to be quiet. I'm not that kind of teacher, but some people do that. They slam the books on the table. They just like go, okay? Don't do that. All right. We have another verb, which is clutch. Now, actually, a woman's purse, like this little small purse, is also called a clutch. But there is a reason why it's called a clutch. That comes from the meaning of this word. But what is the meaning? Okay, what's happening here? This guy is firmly holding onto something. He's kind of getting a very firm grip, right? So a clutch is when you are holding something very tightly. You're kind of getting a firm grip on something, all right? I can say, I clutched the bar tightly. I clutched the bar and closed my eyes during the entire roller coaster ride. If you've sat in the roller coaster ride, you're kind of scared. You want it to like get over as soon as possible because you're terrified. So you clutch the bar and close your eyes, okay? Or you could say, she was so scared that she clutched my hand during the entire movie. So what are we doing here? Instead of using a very common English verb like hold, I'm now using clutch. Ordinarily, you would have said, she was so scared that she held my hand. Well, you don't have to use that anymore. You can use a more powerful expression like clutch. Okay, does that not make your English sound a lot more better? Right? So go ahead and use it. Okay, fling. Now this word fling actually comes from the word fly. Okay, like flying. Okay, so what do you think it means? Okay, look at this guy over here. He's clearly a fisherman and he's throwing the net. Okay, so when you throw something, it kind of flies for a bit, right? So the meaning of fling is to throw something freely. So when you throw something, it kind of assumes a flying motion for at least some moments. And that's what a fling is. So I can say, the angry wife, she flung the ring on the table. So she took off her ring. Okay, I don't want to be married anymore. She flung the ring on the table. Okay, people do that when they're angry. Or you could say, don't just fling the bed cover, spread it neatly. So you can fling things when you are angry, like the angry wife, but you can fling things when you're careless. Like, for example, I get out of bed and I'm like, just fling the cover. I can't do that. I'm supposed to be spreading it neatly, not flinging it. Okay, that's flinging for you. And then you have another nice expression called gaze. This picture will kind of give you the meaning because as you can see this lady out here, she is staring into the stars and she's looking up. She's obviously very happy. So gazing is basically looking at something thoughtfully. Okay, you're just looking at something. Your mind is running with some thoughts. That's what it means. So I can say the crowd gazed at Rahul as he spoke. So instead of saying the crowd looked at Rahul, which most of you use looked, right? Or the crowd saw Rahul, that's again not the best way to say it, but now you have a better expression. So say the crowd gazed at Rahul as he spoke. What I want you to understand is that these expressions bring out the emotion behind a verb. Like I said, talked only mentions that you are saying something, but blab shows that you are being careless enough to say so much. Similarly, gaze talks about the emotion behind looking at something. Okay? And then we've got, he keeps gazing out of the window for hours. Okay, so some people, they're always thinking about something and they're standing at the window and just gazing out of the window. Okay, they're not looking out, but they're gazing out of the window. All right? But now it's time for me to see if you've really understood how to use these powerful expressions. Okay, let's have a look. The first sentence, no one in our group takes Ram seriously as he keeps all the time. Okay, so here are your options. what would you use? Can I say, as he keeps blab all the time? I can say that, right? So I will use blabbing, okay? So make sure that whatever verb you are using, you want to stay true to the form. You can't use just one form. These are all the first forms of the verb. But depending on the tense of the sentence, you've got to change it. All right then, but I won't give you all the answers because I want you to find out for yourself. So make sure you take a screenshot, okay? I hope you're taking a screenshot. Okay, done? All right then. Make sure you put in your answers in the comments. I want you to put in your answers against each number. So against number 2, you mention the answer. Against number 3, you mention the answer. And I will get to know if you've really understood this lesson or not. And of course, if you can make your own sentences, go ahead, put them in the comments. I want to see them. Okay? So this is me saying, make sure you use all these verbs, use them in your everyday conversations. Find the opportunity to actually make sure that your English sounds better to people. Okay? Promise? Make sure you put those comments in so that I know how much you're learning. I'll be back with some more lessons. Until then, this is me saying, keep learning and use powerful expressions.